Cheatsy Koopa, you plant-pilfering pest!
Listen to me, you pathetic pea-brained problem-producing plumbers! You'll never see your crops again!
Well, that's what you think, cheapskate!
The only way you guys are gonna eat is by shopping at the Koopa Mart! So long, suckers!
Super Mario, Super Mario, Super Mario World.
Super Mario World was a show from the past. And if you're thinking it's good, well, you'll be sorry you asked. Delfino and the Peach here are watching what they can. The budget was $2 and a piece of ham.
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World, it just looks like ass. The Supershow Saga, it's a gas!
So how's your Crom luck coming? No Crom.
Did you check the Gamer channel? I talked with Effie about it, and it's that they got Crom, and I posted my favorite sticker of Pokemon, which is the Pikachu going like so angry. It's like, is this what I get? Is this what I get, Effie, for getting into a fight with you over the legendary beasts? Because apparently they're based off cats, and they're not just like animals. and for insisting that Suicune is not a leopard, which I'm still not seeing the leopardness in Suicune.
I could see with the spots, but the face is it's not very leopard shaped.
I don't know. The way I tried to reason through it is it's like, I will concede that Entei is like a lion, because he's very hairy.
Yeah.
And Raikou is like a tiger.
A saber-tooth tiger, yeah.
Yeah. But Suicune, if you removed like everything weird off of Suicune, which would be like the giant crystal, the hair, the butt ribbons, the chin, if you took all of that out, you're left with a lithe cat-like body. But that's removing a lot of things, and it reminds me of the arguments that's like, alright, what's this game really about? Let's take everything about the game.
If we take everything out and like just look at this one thing, then my point stands. It's like, no.
I don't know.
Should I flex?
Oh, you got a Lucina? Good job.
I did.
She's really cute in that outfit.
She was adorable, and I'm like, I kind of want it, but I don't want to spend a lot of orbs on it, and then I got it with one of my free pulls, and I'm like, okay.
Good job. But they're like, maybe you will get the Crobbins if you admit that the cats are cats. And I'm like, can I make a compromise? And I stated what I stated to them, and they're like, I'll accept that as the compromise. So I got it, and I was like, well, I've been getting stuff. And did I send you that insane round?
Yeah, you got like 3 in 1. It was insane.
That was absolute. It's that I pulled one and I got a legacy, and I'm like, oh, well, I haven't had him. And then I didn't play the game for like 6 hours because school. And then I was like, oh, I was in the middle of a summon session. And I'm like, I'll just like finish up. And the next one I got, it was either number 2 or number 3, was Ascended Lejarn.
I know! It's like, what?
I already got some Ascended Fjorm for this banner. I'm like, you know what? Let's gamble. Let's keep rolling those dice. There's no more Crobbins, but maybe someone else, because the multiplier is going to go down. And at the very end, I got another Doosel. And I'm like, what is this?
That's pretty nuts.
I know. I already have Doosel. I wish you could trade heroes, because Doosel is a really good solo unit. But I don't need...
I would try for Crom for you.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm still saving some 5 stars. It's like, maybe we can trade. Maybe in the far-flung future.
Maybe.
Because I've got like an extra Memori. I've got an extra Ascended Fjorm at this point.
It seems unlikely given how Pokemon Go does it.
Like that they're super picky.
Have we started the episode yet?
1 5-star a day. But alright, but Peach, we do have to get started, because it's very important that we get to these very pressing matters, which is, of course, Keatons. We must talk about Keatons.
Oh my god, the Keatons.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe it. He named all the kittens!
Every single one!
And he had a helpful chart to tell us who's who.
Yes, he put the names like right beside them. But I can't tell which one's Paisano, Iris, and Pinskadan.
Well, Iris is currently the smallest one.
Okay.
I think I have it wrong that Pinskadan is.
Pinskadan has eternal angry face. That's how I know Pinskadan.
He's either the chunky tabby or the fluffy tabby.
He's
I
not
don't know.
fluffy, because he's Frenchalore's sibling.
Okay.
The fluffy is stolen number 2. I will say, I almost feel a little weird about the names because they're very English, anglicized names.
Well, I'm wondering if they were recommended to him.
Maybe so.
Because the names that he gave, like Zlata and Moritz.
Yeah, they're very Russian names. And
Mhm.
even Bella is a more English
Bella is technically, I think, it's not German, it's Italian?
Is it? Bella. Oh, yes, because it means beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And he had Bagheera. Well, clearly, Nala's based on a Lion King name.
Okay. Shoot,
Curly Curl is Jasmine.
Okay, I guess we gotta watch the video together now. One moment.
The pastel calico is Angel.
No, I don't think that's her name, but let me check.
No,
Where'd it go?
Jasmine. But the pastel calico.
Okay, Daisy! Frosty's new name is Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
You said it was Angel.
Oh, I'm tired. Yeah, it's Daisy.
Hi, tired. I'm Daisy.
Hi, I'm Daisy!
Here we go, there's the Daisy. Oh, frame rate's in the toilet. Which one is Maggie? Is that Paisano? It's hard to know.
I don't know.
Because
it could be Iris.
Sophie is stolen number 2.
Yeah.
And of course, Jasmine is
Curly Curl.
The calico. Oh, I love how she just did not want to be in the picture.
He's trying to hold her and she's like, no.
No. Say another funny one is Fluffy is now Badger.
Badger.
I think Nala is Iris because...
Yeah, I think so too. Well,
also Pirate and Bonnie.
And Bunny.
That just reminds me of, like, Harvey P. Jones giving a cat a full name.
It is great. You should strive to give your animals full names. It makes it funnier.
Titles as well. Dukes, Counts.
One of the customers at my work. I'll go ahead and say it. They have a cat named Ricky Bobby. It's great.
Yeah, I think Nala is Iris because they're very shy. Although the eyes look so angry, and it's like
that could be Pinskadan.
No, I think Pinskadan. Also,
I don't know. Sparrow is Drizzle.
Yeah. So I like how Tabby number 2 now is a better name, which is Momo. That's a great name.
Oh, Momo is adorable.
I love Momo. Charlie, I think, is Smoosh.
Yeah, Charlie is Smoosh. And then Lint, I think, is...
Stanley? One moment. The
Stanley.
video is loading because... Sammy! There we go.
And then Poosh is Athena!
And then we, of course, have the best one, the Poosh!
The Poosh!
The Poosh! I love the Poosh. Poosh is
This has just turned into a podcast where we talk about Robin's kittens all day.
I know, because we don't have kittens. I wish we had kittens. And I haven't been home, so I can't go explore around the neighborhood and go visit all the Jaws.
Well, it's cold. All the kittens are inside.
The smart ones are.
But, you know, this isn't a podcast about kittens. This is Delfino and Peach's Supershow Saga, featuring me, Peach Supreme.
And I, Delfino Durians. Before we get to the episode, which this episode did surprise me, we should probably talk about something Mario adjacent, which is the new Nintendo Direct.
Oh, right. That did happen.
Did you just forget all about it?
No, I've been thinking about it a lot.
Okay.
But mostly I've just been thinking that I need to go get Mario Kart now. I'd been holding out because...
Me too. We own it on Wii U!
We have the Wii U version.
And I bought the DLC for it.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I don't know if we want to get it on the Switch. I don't play Mario Kart that much. We could just pull out the Wii U. But, sometimes when my friends are playing online, I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I had it. I don't know.
Covet.
And of course, in the Direct, they announced that they're having an insane amount of DLC and that it's free with the Nintendo Online subscription thing,
Which we've already sold out to.
which I have.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, guess I'll get it. But now the real question is, how many copies do we get?
Alright. So here's what I'm thinking. Because we're pretty remote from each other and it'd be fun to like play together.
Yeah.
I say that one of us gets a digital and the other one gets a physical. Do you want to get it digitally? Or I can get it digitally because I'm here in the apartment.
I've got the stuff, so I can get it physically.
Okay, I guess I'll get it.
Probably order it.
I'm gonna get it when it's on sale because I am not paying $60 for the game. No, I'm paying 40 or below.
All right, sister.
I'm not doing it. Gonna stick it to the man by not sticking it to anything at all.
Just stick it to the wall.
Athena the Poosh. Yes, the Poosh.
The Poosh!
Poosh. Oh, she's a little goddess. Okay, so then the other things.
Episode isn't about badgers. It's about.
Wait. Before that, I also want to say that.
Other things happened in the
Direct.
Direct.
Other thing in the Direct is that I don't know. I had a very long day on that Wednesday, and it was like by the Direct got announced. I'm like, I'm in the physics lab, and the physics lab ran really long, even though as the lab assistant was talking about it, she was like, it won't take long at all. You guys can leave maybe even early. I stayed an hour late for it because I don't know, my lab partner pieced out when they were done, and it's like, but I'm still needing help. Oh well. Woe is me. So I get done with that and I'm like, I can't check
I
anywhere.
was being bad and I watched it at work.
Well, you could watch it at work.
Well, we weren't super busy and I was just like, I'll just put a headphone in, it's fine.
I mean, that's the beauty of wireless earbuds, is no one can
Although
see.
that was really funny because I was in the other room and I heard the deluge dirge going on and I'm like, oh my god, they're talking about Salmon Run.
Salmon.
And so I had to pause it and go back and I was like, what's going on?
It was funny because I was like, oh, I'm so worn out. And then you told me, I think you'll like the Direct. And the very first thing that they showed off is something that I had let go of a dream many months ago, which was another Fire Emblem Warriors, because I will die on this hill. Fire Emblem Warriors is pretty much the most strategic Nintendo-based Warriors game you could get, if only for the sole purpose that you can tell units where to go on the pause screen and then tell them like what to do in the area, and that just makes the Warriors game that much better, because so much of the problem with Hyrule Warriors, at least original, maybe Definitive changed it, was that you'd be stuck playing one person. In Definitive, you could swap, but you'd still be stuck with one person, and it's like your units would be like, please help! Over here!
Help!
Over here!
Help!
It's like, you guys can't do anything by yourselves, but the AI, I feel, was improved in Fire Emblem Warriors, and now we got Warriors 2, and the Warriors server that I'm in, one of the people is like, I'm salty. Why couldn't it have been with older units? Like, I wanted Genealogy and Erica and Ephraim, and I'm like, shut up!
They could still put in some as like DLC or like extra stuff.
I'm seeing DLC would be other Three Houses people, but it's the thing that I wanted all the most in Three Houses, which is I call it the fix-it route, but apparently its more accepted term is the golden route, where it's like everyone is happy, nobody has to die. Edelgard does maybe go crazy, but she doesn't go completely off the chain. And it's like everyone is happy and we're working together, and this is just all I want out of the game.
Yay!
Yay! And then there was the Kirby news.
Oh my god, the Kirby news. Everybody is still talking about Kirby. I've also seen a lot of love for the cone form.
Everyone's loving the cone. I like the jokes, which is other cartoons that have had like people shaped, those are object shaped people.
You brought up the Tom and Jerry one, and I brought up the Phineas and Ferb one. Billy the platypus, you ate all the cheese?
There's an Ed Netty one where Ed eats the whole bed. It's been done many times before.
Isn't it Eddie?
No, it's Ed. 1D. Double D is the one with the hat and the smart one. Eddie is the small one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
I've just
I don't even
insulted all the
watch-
people that like Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
We're sorry to
I
have
remember
to-
Double D. That's the only one.
It's because his nickname is Double D.
That's not why. I just think he's funny.
No, I meant because he has a nickname and the other
That's
ones
true.
don't. I'm not in the gutter.
What else did they announce? Xenoblade. I think it's funny. That came out like as soon as Chugga finishes his LP.
I know. He got done with it and then immediately.
Oh, he also just announced his new LP.
Yeah, Splatoon 2!
Woo!
I mean,
Exciting.
we have some ample time between Splatoon 3. It's okay. If it's too loud, I can always lower the volume. It's good. But yes, Salmon Run. And so I was geeking all about Salmon Run because I think out of all of the Splatoon modes, it's my favorite one because player versus player is it's all well and good, but I tend to get more frustrated at that because some people will do cheap things like they'll spawn camp, they'll do this, they'll do that. But player versus enemy with Salmon Run is like you work together, you see how you can manage things. There's a lot of strategic motions to it, but it's also you can learn some like cheap tricks. Like whenever glowfish are hanging around, you can actually just climb the wall and they can't get to you unless your teammates are bad and then the fish start climbing the wall and you die. But for the most part, things work out pretty well. But the next wave, it's like they're showing off some new bosses, and I'm like, oh, this is great.
Fish Stick is the best enemy name
Fish
ever.
Sticks, because it sticks a big fish in the ground and then it starts spinning around. And I love how they're applying a vertical.
It looks like one of those carnival rides, you know, where you get into the ride and then it's like spinning around on the tall pole. It's great. I
used to build with the Kinect. I used to build that one a lot.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
it's like a little dolphin thing.
It's the opposite of Moz. Well, it's wearing a gas mask, but
so it's more like
salmon.
a splashdown.
It's kind of like a splashdown, but at the same time, it's more like splat zones where you need to ink the predetermined area to stop it. But I loved the meme that someone had like our flipper, flopper, and jaws. You know. Because one of them goes up from the ground and the other one goes towards the ground. It's like, smooch!
I forgot I need to be quiet because our father is working in the other room.
Oh, is he still working from home?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, it might be hard because this episode's pretty funny.
I found it also to be pretty great. Was there any more? Oh, there were a lot of RPGs, like Chrono Cross, and I'm like, well, this is good for Chrono Cross people.
Yeah, I've kind of been waiting for them to put Chrono Trigger on the NES online so I can actually play it.
It's owned by
if they
Squeenix. They'll never do it.
But they put Chrono Cross there, so...
No, Chrono Cross is its own buying game. Do you mean the eShop?
Oh, maybe so. I don't know.
But there's that. There was Live Alive, which made Sushi flip their lid. Very surprised about that.
There's a lot of things that have never come to America that are like, oh, here you go.
And then there was really big news, which is like something on a system that no one ever touched or ported before got ported over.
The Satellaview.
Yeah. I've never even heard of it.
I heard about it because Chug Conway talked about it when he did Chrono Trigger. It's like a little novel that connects Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross.
Okay.
It's weird.
To me, it sounds like a DOS game where it's
apparently like sequels to Chrono Trigger are kind of cursed because like they try to make one and then they're like, oh, it's not good. We don't like it. Let's just forget about it. It's called Radical Dreamers.
That sounds like Star Fox, where anytime they want to do anything after 64, they're like, let's go back to 64.
Let's just go back.
Let's just go back. It's good. It's good. This is that. But it was also that Drew from House of Mario, who, by the way, had his baby. Baby's absolutely adorable.
A chonker.
He's a chonker, and I'm really happy for him. But he talked about how he didn't think that the salmon run was very different. He's like, I don't get what's to be impressed by this. It's just
like, excuse me, did you see their outfits?
And it's like, well, obviously there's cosmetic changes, but
and you can throw eggs.
Throwing eggs is the big change for me.
I love how everybody's going insane about that. They're like,
well, because there's no more camping at the corner of the map and being like, won't somebody get an egg? But also, it's not completely broken, as Vaz was worried about, because I, of course, analyzed the footage, and I saw that throwing an egg costs like half of your ink tank. So if you did...
Interesting.
If you throw 2 eggs, like, at once, then...
you'll be a sitting duck.
Then you're a sitting squid, pretty much. But I loved that one moment where everyone was like tossing it to the other person, and then someone went for the Kobe, and they got it into the basket. Kobe. And it's like, oh, this is so rad. But Drew was like, I'm sure Delfino and Wacko Jack will furiously type about how I'm so incorrect. And I said, you were a fool for not noticing that Salmon Run is an arms race between Inkopolis and salmon kind, so it not changing is a metaphor for endless war and conflict or something like that. Because it's true that I saw a Tumblr post that was like, it's actually noticeable how the equipment and like the gear for Salmon Run next wave.
Arlo mentioned how he'd like it if you could just play Salmon Run anytime.
If it wasn't in shifts.
Wasn't in shifts.
I mean, the good thing about shifts now is that the downtime is only like 6 hours, and they go for a really long amount of time. But that's from it being that way for so long. So I agree that shifts are a fun concept, but maybe it would be like the shift doesn't close down. I don't know how it works. Maybe it requires like in the downtime that you program stuff. I don't know. Anyways, I was very excited, and it's true that it looks like the gear is a lot more heavy duty than it was before. Mm-hmm. Instead of just wear like rubber stuff and a hat, you've got a
stop being
fire
such a
helmet. I know, and as someone mentioned, it's firefighter themed, but it's also marine rescue themed. The outfits are. It's like that's cool, and also that the salmonids are getting more technologically advanced. Like it's not just bosses that fly. The ones that recollect eggs also seem to be flying. And that's just, it's like, it's an arms race. It seems
very
like
interesting.
Very interesting concept to me. Will we get playable salmonids?
That seems unlikely to me, but...
We're getting friendly ones.
We've got a buddy.
The little buddy. Was there any more direct news? Oh, Earthbound got ported over.
Earthbound.
I was very, like, unexcited. I was like, that's good. Okay.
I'm like, it's great. I mean, I would rather have a remake because Earthbound Beginnings really needs a remake, but at least we're getting it.
Honestly, Earthbound also is the hottest take of the day here. I think Earthbound, it's fun in memories, but if you're actually playing through it, there's a lot of annoying
it's a good game.
Areas.
It's a very clunky game. It's a good game.
It's quite clunky. The aesthetics are all there, but stuff like how long you're left alone. The game will like lock you into a room and be like, we're taking all of your items and one of your party members. Get out of the room. And you're like, why? I don't want to do this. And there's no side quests in the game because all side quests are the main quest. So there's a lot of going around and being like, now I need to go get the eraser and do this and that. And then I gotta go and teach the Mimmas how to be less shy, and then I have to go get the diamonds. And it's like a lot. It feels very draggy because none of it's optional, but our mileage may vary. I finished Earthbound, but I don't think you've played it.
I feel like I started it. I don't know if I finished. There's just so many games for me to play right now, and all I'm doing is playing Arceus, which we don't have time to talk about. Maybe next time.
I've been playing Kirby Superstar because I've got this Kirby itch, and the only Kirby available to me is through NES service. So I've been playing Superstar.
I was thinking about dragging out a copy of Superstar Ultra.
I mean, I still gotta play through that game. I never beat the True Arena.
I mean, me neither. It's like impossible.
I heard the Easy Way Stone, but I've heard Hammer also, where you can use the frames when you're spinning to be invincible.
True. I'll have to look up some.
Anyways, I've also heard
Guides
that
or such.
using save states makes things a lot easier in Kirby, because if a battle goes wrong, you just reverse it and go, alright, let's try again.
I did that a lot in Kirby's Adventure. It's like I would lose my ability. I'd be like, hang on.
I want that.
I don't want to lose UFO.
And it just turns into the frustration game. But if you do play Earthbound, I highly recommend save states. Do not trust the save system of the game. They're too far and few between. Save anywhere you want. That is something all games need to have, is just a save wherever system. Is it cheap? Maybe. But you know what it is?
I mean,
Not
hey, if you
frustrating.
want all of Pooh's ultimate items, then, like, yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah, because you can only get a Sword of Kings in the area that you get locked into.
Mm-hmm.
Items don't matter in Earthbound. It's all about
Not
the
really.
journey. Well, I guess that was all the direct news.
Now that we've been here for like an hour, it's time to talk
Sorry.
about Gopher Bash.
Written by Brooks Watchell. Peach, do you recognize that name?
They probably did another episode.
They wrote Fire Sale.
Ah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense.
And they also wrote for the Super Show with Mighty McMario and the Pot of Gold, and they did an episode or two of Darkstalkers. So, you know, they just get
You
their
know, that
feet in
makes sense.
things.
This is the only other episode that has a diegetic song in it. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Also, he wrote a bunch of good Clifford episodes, which,
Ooh.
if anything, this episode emitted big Clifford vibes.
Yeah, I can see that.
This sounds very silly, but it'll make sense if you watch the episode and have watched Clifford, the good Clifford, the 2000s Clifford before. So, we start the episode. I'm sorry, I'm just bitter woman.
I would say this person also writes Yoshi pretty well. Like,
yeah,
they make Yoshi cute.
I think that's exactly what they're going for. So, we start the episode.
This is actually a Luigi-centered episode.
I love that it's a Luigi episode. Because we love Luigi. Luigi wants to teach the cave people how to farm. Because they don't
I guess
know how
currently
to farm?
they're a hunter-gatherer society, which doesn't really make sense because...
Party line.
Well, the idea was that humans settled down once they started farming.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't have to move from place to place to get food.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I maybe realize it's weird that we call them cave people when they live in adobo houses, but whatever.
That's alright. We don't want to call them.
There was minimal historical context put into the show.
The least offensive thing you could call them. Like, what else are you going to call them? Neanderthals?
I guess.
Old people. They're cave
Ancestors, people. I don't know.
Anyways, whatever. Prehistoric people. Let's call them that. So prehistoric people do not know how to farm, even though we've seen them have farms, like in Party Line.
Maybe this episode is just really out of context. Like, this is technically one of the first episodes, but they're just showing it later. Maybe this episode has been going on for a long time because, vegetables don't grow overnight.
Oh, I like that idea. Also, that none of the writers really talked with each other about the continuity of the show. So it's like, do the prehistoric people have farm? And one person went yes, and the other one went no. But they never met. So they couldn't talk about it. So Luigi is all for teaching them how to farm, and Mario's like,
they're never gonna do it, Luigi. And it's like, Mario, you've literally tried to teach them how to drive cars and operate phone lines. Like, farming is like number one on the teaching them step.
It's like right next to reading.
So it's below reading. Like, farming, you should do farming first before you go to reading.
It provides the needs before you get to, like, the culture.
Provides the goods before the services.
There you go. So I like how Toadstool phrases like, come on, Mario, let him try.
If he wants to try, then we should just let him. And it's like, even Peach doesn't believe in it.
Really? I think Peach she sounded pretty supportive in me. It's like, let's just let him try. What's the harm in trying?
She sounded like she was talking to a little kid. Like, oh, we'll let him try.
Is it Mario as the little kid or Luigi was the little kid? To me, it sounded like Mario was the little kid.
Kids.
How old are they? Anyways,
I don't know.
so Luigi is I very much relate to Luigi in this episode because Luigi's like, all right, are we ready to go farm?
He's just putting like 100% effort into this because clearly nobody else cares. He's like, all right, we're all gonna farm. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep
When I
myself
say farm,
optimistic.
you say rocks. Farm. Farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, farm.
It's great.
I don't know. It's me. I was. I don't know.
You gotta pep yourself up, or else it just gets too depressing.
It's just sad. If I'm not my own cheerleader, then no one else.
Who else will be?
Anywho, so
Man, I gotta eat lunch. Oh well.
are you also, is your stomach grumbling?
Well, I haven't eaten anything yet, so.
Me either. We're both hungry, and we're talking about food, which will
We're
make us
hungry as a
hungrier.
hippo. So step 1 to gardening is we've got to put a noose on Yoshi.
Well, that's so sad. So step 1 to gardening is to plow
Okay,
the garden
plowing.
or till or plow. Which word
He
is it?
says the word plow.
Okay.
Technically, we're tilling. I don't know. I gotta pull up my Sakuna knowledge
I was
from
about
my
to
rice
say
farming.
your Harvest Moon knowledge, but
That
Sakuna
too.
would have a more detailed.
True. In Harvest Moon, you gotta till the soil first, and then you can plant.
Yeah.
Basically, you have to prepare the soil, like loosen it up in order to put seeds in, because you can't just put seeds into the hard ground and expect anything to happen unless it's grass, because grass will grow anywhere.
Well, does that also help with grass if it's like the patterned grass?
It helps with grass too, but
Yeah.
weeds will grow anywhere.
So I understand what Luigi was doing, which is you gotta
put the harness onto your animal.
Like a cow or a horse.
By the way, fun fact, did you know cows weren't used for dairy production until the 1900s in Japan?
In Japan?
Yeah, in Japan they were only used for plowing and stuff.
Okay.
And it started in Hokkaido.
When did pasteurization become a thing?
I have it in one of my books, but it started in Hokkaido, which is why Hokkaido is known for its dairy products.
No, I mean in the global world. When did pasteurization become a thing?
I'm not sure.
I think it was the 1800s with Louis
Perhaps.
Pasteur, because then milk wouldn't be very
yeah,
edible.
Like saving the milk. Mm-hmm.
It would destroy your intestines.
But it wasn't brought to the East until later.
I believe that. As time takes to travel. Anywho, the plow itself looks cool in that it's like a turtle shell with a bone, but the rope around Yoshi's neck is not cool.
Like, they should have given him like a horse harness thing, but instead, like, they didn't have that much stuff, so they just kind of stuck the rope around his neck, and it's like, poor Yoshi.
Poor Yoshi.
He gets punched in the back of the head to make his tongue go out, and now he's got the noose.
So Yoshi starts just walking along, and then Luigi's like, see? It's all good. Just go in a straight line, which reminds me of the awkward zombie comic about... Did you see the one for Sakura where it's like... where she makes the guide, and suddenly the rice was put in crooked, and then everyone else's fields are crooked.
It's great.
No!
Oh no! It's really hard to play it in a straight line.
But I do love how Yoshi's just walking along, and then he gets distracted by food and suddenly speeds up.
I love how they start playing the Yoshi music. The
athletic theme. It is funny. So then...
And Luigi is dead.
Luigi gets, drug
all
along.
All of the dust clears, and Luigi's just, sitting dead on the ground, And Mario's how's it going? And he's like, it's great.
That comes later, but there's the funny part, which is that Yoshi, I can't tell if he plowed the brown area or the drawing on the ground, because there's suddenly a Yoshi drawing on the ground.
It's great. I feel like they plowed everything, and then, once they got to the end, that's when he got distracted, and he ended up accidentally, plowing his face.
Okay. Also, because when Luigi's getting dragged around, he's just making noises. He's like, oh! Just running through the sound effects.
There's a lot of really great sound effects in this episode.
So, I wouldn't say the sound design is super great, because I had some volume issues, but...
It's weird, but, it's fun.
It's good in certain areas. So, we go to the rock. and we see that we've got some spies on our right. We got some moles spying in on us, but it's not the actual moles. It's just
It's Koopa and Cheatsy who has become Byleth.
He's enlightened himself.
He's become enlightened, and his hair is now like a mint color.
It's very mint green.
I think this is like one of Cheatsy's only episodes.
Yeah, he hasn't.
They went through all the trouble of changing his hair color, and he never shows up.
He was spending his time bleaching his hair.
He was in a hypersleep because he was getting enlightened. Is that what happened? I don't know. Yeah. I haven't played Three Houses.
Okay. Yeah, it's the time skip is because you go to sleep for 5 years.
Also, is it just me, or is Cheatsy's voice kind of different? Like, I think it's the same voice actor, but like their delivery is off.
I could see them maybe.
At first, I thought it was a different voice actor, but then like sometimes they slip back into the normal Cheatsy voice. God, that's a big water bottle! Wow.
Oh, I got this with Mom. There was a guy
at my work that would just like carry around like one of those milk cartons just full of water, and he just drink the entire thing during his shift. And I'm just like, dang.
I used to do the milk carton way, but I had to pick up some like water jugs, and it's like I should just keep this around because it has a handle. Made a grab and swig.
For consumption.
Anyways, Cheatsy lets us know that this is better than bad, Dad. This is baddest.
I would say the writer of this is really good at making like the stooge character, because Cheatsy feels like a stooge.
You think so?
He's one of Koopa's stooges.
It was definitely kind of out of character for what we know Cheatsy.
It's less of a kid vibe and more of like a I work for you.
Master.
Yes, master. I will steal all of the plants that they're obviously going to grow because clearly nothing is going wrong here.
I don't know, but Koopa's looking especially big today.
He's very worried.
He's very round, and he's very worried that them growing their own food will make them unsubjugatable.
Because it's the first step to civilization is growing your own food.
Okay, I was very confused. I'm like, what does growing your own food have to do with, like, being conquerable?
I guess he's like, oh man, if they start growing their food, they'll be self-sufficient, and so then they'll start evolving as a society, and it'll be harder.
So it's like they won't need to be dependent on something?
Yeah.
Then you could just take them over and make them and subjugate them. Whatever. But Cheatsy just keeps putting effort into like his wordplay, and is he picking this up from Big Mouth? He's very chatty in this episode, and he's very 25-cent words.
Look, he only got one episode, and he's gonna sell it.
He's gotta go. He's making his paycheck with all those 25-cent words. That's the joke. Okay. So Koopa is like, I'm gonna take out the berries that usually forage from. Cheatsy, you intercept the crops.
I want you to sit here for a few months. Maybe this is why Cheatsy hasn't done anything. He's literally been on this vegetable plan for months.
Because he will be ever vigilant. Oh, perfidious parent of pervasiousness. What? I couldn't hear what he was saying. It was either verbaciousness, pervasiousness, it was really hard to tell because he was talking very quiet.
And he's kind of slurring a bit.
He is. It made it hard to understand what he was saying.
So Cheatsy is now going to camp out in this spot for the unforeseeable future for as long as it takes for these vegetables to grow.
Yep. But Luigi, not to worry for Luigi, because planting is easy. It's just putting things into the ground. You just
put stuff in the ground and you plant. Luigi is not the best teacher.
He's not. But I like how he tries to drop the seeds and then
Yoshi immediately eats the seeds.
And he's like, well, assuming it gets to the ground.
So he's like, okay, look, seed, ground, okay? You do it.
And the way that the seed drops, I'm like, it's beans! Supershow Saga is already in the making. We're growing beans.
So, of course, the cave people are like, all right, stuff in ground. Okay. And so they're like, okay, we'll bury a cave person and make a cave person tree.
I thought maybe they were going to grow themselves to be bigger, but I like the one lady that's like, I'm going to take the tree and replant it into the ground,
And
which
get a
sounds
bigger tree.
silly, but it actually, I've heard it actually works. Even if you took a tree and planted it like upside down, it could actually still grow. It just won't
Like,
be
I've
very
heard that,
pretty.
like, you can take limbs from a tree and plant them somewhere and it'll grow a tree.
Yeah. It's crazy
Perhaps.
stuff like that.
And I mean, the guy that was just like shaking the apples into the hole was like, I mean, that would work, although the only problem is that it's really close to the other tree, so it'll probably sap its nutrients. That's not the best idea.
And also that there's so many seeds in the ground.
They're
so
a
they
little
don't
confused,
fighting.
but they got the spirit.
That reminds me, on Tapas, have you seen the comic Extreme Gardener?
No, but I have to check that out now.
Okay, it's one that you can actually read like once a day for free. Of course, it's not completely free, but it's.
But
here's the cover for it.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about that one.
It's really. At first, I was just like, "What is this?" But it's actually plant care advice and nerding out about plant care. And it's like, this is great. Yawning.
Sorry, I've just got really sleepy.
Anyways, Cheatsy remarks to himself that rats, if they can't glow crops, I'll have nothing to steal.
He's like, dang, Luigi better succeed or else I'm gonna be sitting here for nothing.
But I like how it's not that he'll disappoint Koopa, but it's like, I want to be evil, and I can't be evil.
I can't be evil if Luigi's sabotaging himself.
So somehow they plant the seeds.
So step 3.
Water the plants.
Water the plants with the weirdest sounding watering can in existence.
To me it sounds like a ketchup bottle. It's very raspberry-like. Hold on. What are we doing? We gotta make a real raspberry.
Well, I can't do it. I've got a microphone in my head.
Oh, I guess so. Okay, I'll do one more.
Nice.
Good. What was it? One day, we were just on the couch, just like, hey, Peach. No,
it's fun.
No. You know what I think about that? Farts are funny.
So he's like, irrigation is important for growing crops. And so, despite the cave people having been smart enough to build a well, they're not
Mario
smart enough to know how to use it.
Maybe they built
the way because what they do is they end up like pulling the well out of the ground
with our
their
powers combined.
Muscle.
We'll pull it out of the ground and cause it to spill over, which is not how wells work.
Which makes me think like maybe it was like a warp pipe connected to
I like
water
that idea.
that they bricked over or something.
I like that idea.
That would make sense in the context of the Mario world.
So they like pull it out and then they dump it over and there's a ton of water and hot cheese, Peach. Watchell remembered that he wrote before that Yoshi didn't like water.
And
it's like, what? Continuity? In my Mario show?
I really like their running animation when they're running away, like, oh!
But they very quickly get, like, washed away. And
we've got a Luigi plant. It's the first plant that's grown.
Cheatsy again, he's like, gosh, it's like these people are working for me or something.
Like, good God, they are so incompetent.
Even I, who don't know anything about plants, could do a better job.
More modern, it would have been funny if he was just like sitting there eating chips, like, man, when are they gonna do this?
I'm bored.
It's like on his phone, like, oh, jeez.
Oh, water. But I really like how Mario, he checks up on Luigi.
Mario.
And he doesn't even look or sound surprised that Luigi has
failed.
Has failed and is halfway into the ground, and he just, without saying anything, pulls Luigi plant out. And he's like, wow, Luigi?
So, how's it going? He's like, it's great. I'm doing great. And Mario's like,
Luigi doesn't even sound that pained about it. He's like, it's going great.
Yeah, great. And Yoshi's just sitting there like,
Luigi was completely like underground and had to dig out.
Luigi's used to things going like this.
But then Mario's like, wow, looks like a real wash to me. Which is a really good pun, because it's a wash in that it failed and also because it got washed away.
It's very ironic to me how whenever Mario has a stupid idea to help the cave people, Luigi's like, I don't know, it sounds bad, but I'll help you out. And here Mario's like, I'm not gonna lift a finger, Luigi. This is up to you.
You can do what you want, Luigi. But I do like how after Mario's thing, Luigi goes, "Oh yeah, Mario."
You're gonna eat those words, and then it goes to a cut.
Okay, the line is, "Hey, big brother, when that crop is in, you're gonna eat those words."
And then it does a cut to the next pan where all the vegetables are growing, and then Luigi says, as well as some very good vegetables. It was just a really funny cut to me.
All right, I didn't notice that, but somehow they did it, Peach. They grew the crops.
Somehow.
Really good crops, like in straight lines. Things
And
look
so
good.
another thing that they brought over from Fire Sale is having fun names for all these cave people foods.
Oh yeah!
So we've got cave carrots, stone squash, pebble peas, and I'm like, man, they must just really like writing names for cave stuff.
Alliteration is Brooks Watchell's favorite game.
That is very true.
But I really like this line exchange. It's a filler line, but perhaps in life I live for the filler lines. Unrelated, but I got talking with someone about Ace Attorney, and they're like, Dual Destinies is boring and I hate it. It's so long and there's so much like filler text. And I'm like, well, maybe I enjoy the filler
I like
text.
filler stuff.
Maybe I like this silly stuff. But anyways, it's the filler text. Mario's saying,
wow, Luigi, Mama always said you were good at growing.
And then Luigi goes, yeah, well, that's why I'm the tall one, little big brother.
And then he does this weird mustache tweak, and it goes like, and it's like,
To
what
me,
the heck?
Perhaps it's like Luigi's little, like, bashful tick.
It's
like,
twirling
instead of
his
scratching
mustache.
your back, is, like, fiddling with the mustache.
I could see that. Like,
I fiddle with
like,
my
if
hair
you have
all
a
of
beard,
the time.
like, your excuse me. If you have a beard, I'm very parched, but I don't have a giant water bottle with me. If you have a
go get
beard,
a
your
giant
tick will
water
be like scratching your beard or like fiddling with your beard or something.
Mm-hmm. It's the same with me. When I have longer hair, it's like my hands are at my hair.
Or like if you had pierced ears, like you'd be like fiddling with your pierced ear.
I've tried the fiddle, but the hair comes more naturally to me.
Okay.
Anyways, Mario looks so insulted by this statement. He's not angry insulted, but he's like, oh.
It's like a brotherly jab. He's like, right, bud.
Whatever. I mean, you'll never have to hear that from me, because you're a little bit taller than me.
We're like the same height.
I know. Well, we're kind of the same. Mom is the one that is smaller than the both of us, and she's very proud of the fact that we're taller than her, because we can reach all of the things that she doesn't want to get. Even though Dad is taller than us both, but whatever.
Anyway, so now that Luigi has actually somehow succeeded in this whole endeavor, Cheatsy's like, finally! I've been sitting here for months, it's time to do our plan!
So, Cheatsy's, it's his time to get completely toked out on the plants, because his eyes keep turning green.
I think what it's supposed to be is he's supposed to be blinking, and so, like, they think that since he's blinking, they should draw the eyelid color underneath, but his eyeballs are still there, so instead he's just completely tweaking out.
Although it's toking out makes your eyes red, he's doing so much weed that it's turning them green. I don't know how weed works.
Maybe it's because he's a Koopa. He's got that cold Koopa blood.
You know, when you smoke that weed.
You go like 3 feet off the ground.
Go, hola!
Also, speaking of weird eyes, we've got our Monty Moles.
Yeah, I like how they're just completely vibing with Cheatsy.
They are his stooges.
They are his stooges, but you know what? They're bros. To me, the Monty
Moles are bros.
They're like bros.
Maybe he was sharing some of that weed.
Sunglasses, but they didn't draw a line between the eyeballs.
So it just looks like they have angry blue eyes. All the time.
They're so cool. So somehow they dig
Do Monty Moles usually have glasses?
I'll check.
I thought that was a Rocky Wrench thing. I don't know. This is coming from the show that used to think that ninjas, like the little buttons, were their teeth.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Very, very odd.
So it was that in Mario World, they did have like the angular eyeballs, but they were more like closed angular eyeballs.
Okay.
And now when you see them, it's like they have closed
little
eyeballs.
squinty eyes.
Yeah. But I'm seeing, it's that they used to like kind of have a sunglasses thing going, and now it's just Brock eyeballs.
Anywho, it's time to pilfer the produce.
Yeah. So
we're gonna grab all of these crops that look the same on the top, but they look different when we pull them. It reminds me of that scene from Curse the Were-Rabbit where like the were-rabbit's burrowing underneath all the vegetables and he's eating them all from under the ground.
That's just a cool segment.
It's an amazing scene.
Whole movie is great.
Watch Curse the Were-Rabbit.
Watch Curse the Were-Rabbit. It's a very good movie.
I actually, for a film class, I did an analysis of that scene.
You're right. Yours was for the burrowing scene. I was like, that was me and the psycho scene.
No, I did one on the burrowing scene and how they used filmography to create the setting.
You mean cinematography?
Yeah.
I think I did the same thing, but it was the one where Gromit goes up the stairs and then he opens the door and it's like the murdered cabbages.
I love it. That's a great scene.
They're all good scenes. Anyways, they pull the plants out from underneath and they're like, ha 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 ha, we've done it.
I like the little mole laughs. They're like,
I like it too. They're the gang.
They're cute.
Boys.
He's like, all right, boys, let's get out of here, but let's leave them some presents.
It's important to say that the boys is BOIS, gender neutral. Boys. So the next morning, Luigi, Mario crew get there. And they're like, what? Where'd the plants go?
They pilfered all our produce.
What are we gonna do? So Mario's like, I know I see one. I'm gonna stick my hand into an unknown area.
My hand into this hole and nothing bad will happen, like a piranha plant eating it.
What do you know? It's a potted piranha plant.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they just didn't feel like unpotting all the piranha plants.
If you unpot the piranha plant, is that like letting a rabbit loose?
Maybe.
And it'll suddenly like multiply.
Maybe then they'll start multiplying everywhere and they're like, okay, we need to control the piranha plants.
Yeah.
Although later on we see them once again that they just have roots, so I don't know, man.
Whatever. Anyways, so Luigi, he sees that Mario's like having to fight this piranha plant, and I really thought that Luigi was gonna grab the plower and like
plow and start bashing its head in.
But no, he just kind of sticks it in front.
He's like, shoo.
And it starts eating the plow.
Eats the plow, and I'm like, dang, they have sharp teeth.
And Luigi's like, oh no! And then Yoshi...
I've heard of weed killer, but killer weeds?
Very worrisome. So then Yoshi's like, I will help! And he eats the piranha plant, and they're like, well, this is bad. And then suddenly, the whole field erupts in piranha plants. It was a little scary to me, actually. It's like you see one weed, and then suddenly you're surrounded. It's absolutely terrifying.
Yep. And they're like, get out of here! Go this way! Go this way! Go this way! We're using the same clip. Go this way!
It's very padded. I almost wonder if this is where if Brooks Watchell turned in the script and then
they're like, you're missing like a
Phil
minute.
Harnage is like, you're missing a minute. And he's like, okay, I'll just add some stuff, because Yoshi takes a really long time to eat the piranha plants, even though he wants to eat the piranha plants, but he can't because he's really having to take in.
He forgot about it until someone mentioned being hungry, and then he's like, "Oh right, I'm Famoshita."
Also, there's a really funny thing where Cheatsy's like, "All right, we gotta go take advantage of them," and they start running with the roots underground, which like pushes the It reminds me of something, but I can't remember what. Where you move something from the bottom and it moves it on the top. Is it like a sliding puzzle or something?
I guess so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. So suddenly there's a spiky piranha plant. It's got like spikes on his head.
Maybe that one's like a fire plant.
I always wonder if that was Cheatsy's.
Because when Yoshi eventually eats it, as he eats all of the plants,
he says salsa.
He says salsa, so I guess it was a little spicier than the other ones.
That's what I'm thinking.
I also like how Yoshi hugs himself when he's talking about how hungry he is.
Oh, my stomach!
I'm Famosita.
Yoshi's just really cute in this episode.
Adorable. So these poor piranha plants, they just look terrified.
I mean, you're getting
They're like,
eaten alive.
Oh my god, they just
There's
ate
only
Jim and
one. There's only one left, and you
they're
can't
eating
escape.
him, and then they're gonna eat me.
Oh my god! But the last piranha player is like, oh no. And I really like how Cheatsy's like, what's going on? Because they're just seeing the roots leave from the top, which
like,
is a nice
what's
juxtaposition.
Don't just help him stand there.
Of them taking the plants from the bottom. Now the plants are being taken from the top. Brooks is just really good at writing episodes, is what I mean. Because I think this happened before in Fire Sale.
When Cheatsy yells that line, they all look at him like, what?
I like how that Cheatsy, he's like, come on, guys. Obviously, we're a sarcastic group. Come on, boys.
Come on.
You gotta help.
And so then, apparently,
I love how they all stand there.
Apparently 10 Monty Moles are not...
And a Cheatsy.
And a Cheatsy are not strong enough to win a tug-of-war against one strong Yoshi.
It's one of my favorite tropes, which is when two people are pulling on something at the same time and they aren't aware that the other person is pulling on it. So it's like, all right, this means business. I'm not going down.
Yoshi's gotta use his guns.
This means war for Yoshi. And then Yoshi just goes, woo!
It's like Yoshi like spits on his hands and then he goes, bang!
It's exposing all of the moles.
I love Peachy's like tumble. He's like,
he really falls out. So Mario is like, oh, Cheatsy, you plant pilfering pest. Oh yeah, I can outdo your alliterative P insults, you pungent plumber, pilfer, something else, pests.
I love his line here. He's like, if you want food, you gotta shop at the Koopa Mart.
Okay, before that, all of the budget seems to have gone to Mario and Luigi, like, marching over, but not into their eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, all of the Monty Moles jumping back down. I love the hand poses. It's the expression that Cheatsy is giving.
He is so sassy.
It reminds me of No More Heroes 3, where Travis Touchdown has a lot more, like, hand motions, where he'll move his hands to help express the point. Hand motions are, like, the funnest thing you can do to help express yourself. It's not just in words, it's in actions. But he's so sassy.
I will say, I think I'm wondering if some of these
Ah.
final episodes were really re-released like in DVD form or something. Because starting in this episode, we get a lot of the YouTube poop clips.
Maybe.
Because the scene where he goes, so long, suckers! I remember seeing that as one of those Sparta remixes.
I don't. Okay.
This episode wasn't as popular for YouTube poops as
Yeah,
other
Rock
episodes
TV.
that we'll be getting into.
Oh yeah.
But I guess they loved Cheatsy's expressiveness so much that
maybe so.
And so then Mario and Yoshi and Co follow.
Yeah. Yoshi jumps in. While Mario and Luigi like tumble in, Yoshi's like, I'm here. Where's the food? Where's the food?
Where's the food? I want the food.
Food.
I just ate all those piranha plants, but I'm still famished.
He's got a cosmic level of hunger. So what happens next, Peach?
It's time for a Gopher Bash. Gotta roll up my sleeves.
Luigi rolls up his sleeve, which to me feels a
Have
little
we ever
weird.
seen the Marios roll up their arms? Because, like, dang.
Maybe they've, like, worn t-shirts before.
Yeah, perhaps. It's just really
kind of expecting arm hair.
Perhaps.
I don't know. Definitely, you know Mario is a hairy man.
I don't know. We've seen him shirtless in Odyssey. He's very clean shaven there.
I like to imagine that Mario is a very hairy man in Odyssey. Not in Odyssey, just in general. And maybe Luigi's a little less hairy, but what are your thoughts on hair?
My thoughts are we should continue on with this episode.
Okay. So there's the title of the episode as the Gopher Bash, which what Chell also did for Fire Sale, is that he had somebody
We're
say
gonna
it.
have a fire sale. It's great. So now, all of a sudden, we're all concerned that if they steal all the vegetables, the cave people will have nothing for the winter.
Right, it's that Mario is like, come on, they'll just collect stuff that they had before, which wouldn't be true because Koopa's been snatching berries, but Luigi digs himself into an even further hole and says that he recommended to cave people that they stop storing food and really count on the plants.
And he starts crying.
And Luigi is very upset
If you've
by
ever
this,
seen
and it's
the scene of Luigi crying, that's what this is from.
it came out of nowhere for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the crying clip. I don't know, Luigi's put himself down so much. He's like, it's all my
Hey,
fault.
he tried really hard.
It's like, this stings. And then
We'll talk more about this in a minute. But Yoshi
Okay.
gives him a little kiss.
it's like with pets where a little dog or cat would do a little lick. And it feels a little weird, but I get what they were going for, which is a comforting action. And then Yoshi's like, we can help, Luigi. It's okay. And then Mario feels personally insulted because no creepy Koopa's gonna louse up Luigi.
Because we're all for one, and one for dinner. All for dinner or something.
Yeah, one for all and all for dinner.
They go in for like a hand pile, but then Yoshi puts his tail on it and makes it kind of weird.
That's because Yoshi's arms are too short, so he does it with his tail, which, you know what, this hit me with those Honey Nut Filios for teamwork and family. I don't know, there's just something about when I read manhwas, when I watch TV shows, it's the same thing, it's like in Precure, when they're all like, we can do it together. It's okay that you made a mistake. We can fix it together. It's like, yes! Teamwork. I love it.
Let's all jump down this pipe.
One for all and all for one. As we fall down.
Onto a pea balloon.
This reminds me a lot of Mama Luigi, this falling section.
Is it because they fall and they land on a pea balloon?
Yeah, but I think even the backgrounds were reused.
Maybe. It's Mario instead of Luigi. That's the only thing that's really different.
And then Mario catches Luigi, and then Yoshi like grabs onto Luigi's leg. I think that's pretty funny when it's like a big daisy chain. So then Luigi says something, and then Mario's really gotta whisper because he can hear voices. I hear them in my head, Luigi. They tell me there's voices in my head.
Sounds like snickering moles.
So this episode is now just turning into Fire Sale because Cheatsy's sitting on a throne.
He's sitting on a throne with his spoils of vegetables next to him. And he's like, I am the best. I am the number one son.
I did it.
I did it.
The best.
Is there anyone more despicable than me?
No.
No.
I love the angry whisper where they all go, no.
They sound more annoyed. They're just like, no.
But I like how they're being sneaky this time around. They don't just run in and like try to go, you gotta stop.
And I wrote in my notes that this is the first diegetic song, but then you reminded me of Fire Sale, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Cootie pie rap, ba-da-ba-da. Yeah, that one.
So instead of commanding the Monty Moles to sing about him, Cheatsy decides to sing about himself with the Monty Moles as a chorus.
Took me off guard because he starts singing and I'm like, what? First of all, that this is his singing voice because
his singing voice is slightly different than his normal voice.
A bit high pitched to me. And it's like, what is this? And then it's like, okay, the moles are the choir, like the baritone, ma ma ma, the biggest of the bunch. This is actually kind of funny. I couldn't think of a.
The lip syncing was horrible, but you could tell.
Care about lip syncing.
They were trying. He's just really excited. Also, I like how the Marios are singing along too, like as the baritone chorus.
That comes later. So it's that the Mario gang is quietly taking out some moles. It's like 4 of the moles are hanging out, and then one looks away, and then 3 of them go missing.
Where did Jimmy go?
Where, Jimmy? Gary, no!
Gary, no!
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's in Super Paper Mario when the Goombas get taken over and then
No, Gary!
Gary the Goomber. So then the song suddenly turns great because now the Mario Bros and Yoshi are singing along. And they have
They
such...
sound like slightly Italian.
I can just hear them singing that High Silk Hat song. Ba 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 ba
A great
ba.
big squash just sat upon my hat.
My hat, my hat, my hat, my hat, my hat, my hat. It's the pizza song
Right.
from Spider-Man 2, but it's also the High Silk Hat song.
It's called Funicula. That's what it's called.
Funicula. I just hear it. But it's weird because
great.
I don't think Walker Boone is Italian. So who did they grab for this?
Tony Rosato.
It was all Tony.
I just love how Cheatsy's getting all wrapped up in a song and
He is.
singing,
He's totally
and
distracted.
He does not notice anything. He's too busy monologuing.
He just wants to sing about how when you want to cheat, you gotta do it right. And you gotta do it my way. Because my way is the best way.
Because my name is Cheatsy.
Because my name is Cheatsy, and you get what you get. You get what's on the label. So then Cheatsy turns around, and he sees that Mario and Co. are singing, and he's like, oh no!
He does a full-on awooga.
It's full Looney Tunes.
It goes full Looney Tunes awooga.
Is that what awooga is?
Yeah.
To go, oh, awooga. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought awooga
It's either
was
with the
something that you
eyes
say.
or the tongue, or both in this case.
Which is what happens, where he's like, ah! It kind
It
of
is
also...
the most animated I've ever seen this show. Like,
It
wow.
reminds me also of Powerpuff Girls with the Gangrene Gang, with the one Gangrene member's eyes like stick out of his head.
Is he Snake? No.
I don't know if it's
That's
Snake.
Goober. It's Goober.
Honestly, I should rewatch Powerpuff Girls soon. I should do that.
It's
Anyways,
Goober or Grub? I don't remember. It starts with a G.
Either. It's not Ace, and it's not Snake,
It's not
and
Ace,
it's not
Snake.
the
It's
small
not
one with
It's
the
not
knife.
Billy. It's not Arturo. He's the small one. It's the
Rabia! Where it looks like he's holding up
Rabia!
he's holding up a knife. Anyways, so he also takes on a Looney Tunes-ness because he's crushed by a
Well,
very
they're about to
heavy
crush
object.
him with an anvil made out of Monty Moles.
And I was a little worried during the song. It's like, where are the Monty Moles going? Is Yoshi eating them? But no, they were being tied up. And
No, Yoshi's a vegetarian.
that is true because he wouldn't eat the Magic Koopas.
Although he did eat those wigglers. I guess insects don't count. Insectivore.
Maybe a wiggler isn't... What kind of meat do bugs really have?
Well, they do have flowers on their heads. Maybe they're like Pikmin.
I think they're made of plant. They're moss balls. I don't know. Anywho, so they crush Cheatsy, and he's crushed by his own moles.
And he's just like, ugh, I hate those plumbers.
He does the Koopa thing with the finger trill.
It's adorable.
It's really fun.
Man, she's just great in this episode.
So, they put the sack back into the warp pipe, and Mario says, well, Luigi, we're bringing home the bacon. Which, what does that mean? To bring home bacon?
It's a very complicated phrase. It has similar roots to the breadwinner.
Okay. So it's
whole
like you're
idea of
bringing in
breadwinners.
the money. They're bringing in the food
money
to
to
provide
buy
for the
bacon.
family? Okay.
Mhm.
I got it. But Luigi's like, but there's other things in there too, Mario. Like
And he
the
starts
peas.
listing all of his vegetables again, and Mario's like, all right, Luigi, I know you're excited about your vegetables.
No, it's Yoshi who pulls them in. It's like, come on, Luigi. We gotta go.
All right, and so Luigi's like, I have returned with all of your vegetables!
Here are the crops in Yoshi's stomach.
In Yoshi's giant stomach, because good God, Yoshi has eaten an entire winter's supply of crops.
It is kind of funny how, because Luigi goes to like pull the bag out and have the crops tumble out, that Yoshi tumbles out instead. But you know, just before this episode ends, we got the fat joke in there.
Yep.
Maybe he had turned in the episode, and then Phil was like, You're missing the fat joke. And he's like, oh, sorry.
Sorry. But that would make sense because now it's not a problem that all the crops are gone because we can just plant them again.
Luigi says, since you ate the whole thing, Yoshi, now you can do the whole thing.
And it's like, whoa, Luigi, he's a child.
It just reminds me of did I show you that Jeopardy clip? It was during Ken Jennings'
Yes, I
run,
love that clip.
where it was a gardening tool can also be a word to describe an immoral pleasure seeker. And then Ken
What is a hoe?
No. Whoa! Did they teach you that in Utah? And it turns out the answer was a rake. But to me, it feels like the same thing.
I mean, pretty much.
What is a hoe? No.
What is a hoe? Oh!
No. Oh my gosh. Jeopardy clips are really fun to watch online.
And we end the episode as we used to end a lot of episodes laughing at Yoshi's misery.
Because he does a belch and that's funny.
Well, it's because he's having to, like, move over his sloshing belly to plow the field.
Because fat people moving are funny. No, they're not. Do not take that out of context. Jeez. So, Peach, who is your most valuable paisano?
Oh, man. I made a good point for Cheatsy while I was thinking about it, but man, I gotta give it to Luigi. Because somehow, despite all of his failings in this episode, he still grew all those vegetables.
I'm gonna give it to Luigi too.
And he was willing to take full responsibility for it.
Luigi is responsible. He's a leader at the core of it all, and I loved.
He stayed optimistic the whole time.
I loved the little Mario and Luigi, the brotherly relationship between them was also really fun. And maybe that's what Brooks Watchell does best. He writes relationships. Not romantic ones. I'm talking like familial, child to parent,
though I will
sibling
say,
to sibling.
wasn't going to Luigi. This will definitely be Cheatsy's episode because he was killing it.
He was so sassy, and he was so diligent. He stayed at that farm and watched it grow. And he did not take the crops until there were actually crops to harvest.
True, he could have sabotaged it earlier, but he's like, no, Dad asked me to get crops, so I'll get crops.
I'm gonna get crops. And I'm not gonna get crops if these losers don't do anything. I think the one thing that would have made it even funnier
is if he was secretly helping them.
No, not even secretly. It's like Luigi and the gang are just having such a hard time growing crops that he gives up his disguise and he's like,
oh my gosh,
everything
do this.
Around him? And then he's like showing them what to do, and then he leaves, and then they're like, well, that was weird.
Okay.
And they do it anyways.
That would be really funny.
That would be a more modern day Larry thing, is that Larry gets told to like watch over some stuff, but nothing's happening, and he just gets
like,
angry.
Oh, fine, I'll do it.
And then he does it, and then he leaves, and they're like, well, okay. It wouldn't even have to be like him working for Koopa to do that. It'd just even helping Mario and Luigi, and they're like, well, all right. Also, I like how this episode adds into the very good headcanon that Luigi is a gardener at heart. Although, it's hard to think of, is Luigi the gardener, or do you think Waluigi would be the gardener?
Maybe they both are. Luigi is more of a hobby, and Waluigi is more enthusiastic about it.
Waluigi.
I feel like Luigi would have multiple hobbies, and that's just like Waluigi's main thing.
Yeah, he has. Waluigi lives in a terrarium. What's it called? Greenhouse. Like that's his house. He has a bed in the greenhouse, and Luigi's like, "Ooh, I'll check in on the succulents. They don't need much attention. They'll do whatever." Yeah,
very good, very nice.
Read Extreme Gardener if you want to know how to take care of plants, because they have a lot of good tips. You are reading it.
Hey, you pulled it up, but I was like, let me look at this real quick. All right, I gotta go get some grub.
I also am in need of food, but we have some formalities to get through. Our outro was composed by Taylor Lair. You can find her music at tlair.bandcamp.com. That's T, the letter T, Laire.bandcamp.com. Also, happy Valentine's Day, because I think this
Yay!
episode is coming out on Valentine's Day. I didn't mean for it to come out this late, but, oops.
Nothing says love like a basket full of vegetables.
There you go. Where can people find you online, Peach?
You can find me at peachsupremeart.tumblr.com.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I've been continuing my art posting.
Well, we'll see about that. And I am at delfinodurians.tumblr.com.
I do know I have something planned for March, so.
Yeah.
If all goes well, Paisani Paisani.
So how's the farming going, guys?
Perfect!
Looks like a washout to me.
Hey, big brother, when that crop is in, you're gonna eat those words. As well as some very good vegetables. I can taste them already.